What if one of Britain's most beloved quiz shows was quietly being put on pause, and the man at its helm was being lined up for one of the biggest presenting gigs on the BBC? Because that is exactly the story that has been doing the rounds this week, and the more you dig into it, the more compelling it becomes. Bradley Walsh, the irrepressible, endlessly charming face of ITV's The Chase, is reportedly in the frame to take over the Strictly Come Dancing hosting duties. And at the very same time, sources are claiming that The Chase itself has been halted, with no new episodes set to be produced for at least the next 12 months. Two enormous stories, one man at the center of both. And the television world is absolutely buzzing. Welcome back. Today we are pulling apart one of the most talked about media stories of the moment, one that touches on the future of a 17-year institution, the biggest dance competition on British television, and the career of a presenter who has somehow, against all odds, only grown more beloved with every passing year. Whether you're a devoted Chaser fan, a strictly obsessive, or simply someone who enjoys the spectacle of British television in full dramatic mode, this one has something for everyone. So let's get into it. To understand why this story has landed with such force, you need to appreciate just how significant The Chase is in the fabric of British daytime and primetime television. Since it launched back in 2009, the show has become one of those rare cultural constants, the kind of program that people arrange their afternoons around, that families watch together, that generates genuine affection rather than mere habit. Bradley Walsh has been at the helm from the very beginning, and his chemistry with the rotating cast of chasers, the likes of Mark, the Beast, Labbit, and the governess, Hedgerdition, the Dark Destroyer, Wallace, and the rest, has been absolutely central to everything the show is. He is not just a host on The Chase. In many ways, he is the heart of it, which is exactly why reports suggesting the show has been placed on an indefinite production pause have hit so hard. According to sources speaking to The Mirror, no fresh episodes of The Chase will be produced for at least 12 months. The decision, it is claimed, has already been communicated to the chasers themselves, with the likes of Mark Labbit and Hedgerdy among those reportedly informed that the strategy going forward will be to broadcast repeats rather than record new content. Typically, The Chase produces around 120 episodes per year, captured across 3 distinct recording blocks with roughly 2-month gaps between them. The suggestion that all of that activity is being suspended, even temporarily, represents a significant shift, and understandably, it has caused considerable anxiety among those connected to the program. It's been quite a shock and very disappointing, a source told The Sun. Many crew members feel worried and scared for the future during an uncertain time in TV. And there is a real sadness in those words, because this is not just a bureaucratic scheduling decision, it is a disruption to the working lives of a large team of people who have collectively built something genuinely special. It's a shame as the show has survived for 17 years and remains one of the most popular quiz shows on telly, the source continued. It's won countless awards and is much loved. That love is not in question. The question is what comes next. ITV, for their part, moved quickly to calm the waters. A spokesperson for the broadcaster pushed back on the more alarming interpretations of events, telling The Mirror, The Chase has just finished recording Series 19, which completes its recording schedule for this year. They went on to emphasize that the show would continue to air as usual, with a combination of new and repeat episodes, a model that is, in fairness, not unusual for long-running series. And then came the reassurance that fans of the franchise will have been genuinely heartened to hear. There is a new series of Beat the Chasers coming in 2026. And perhaps most excitingly of all, a brand new spin-off, The Chase Around the World, is on its way. So while the core show's production schedule may be taking a breath, the wider Chase universe appears to be very much alive and expanding. With over 2.5 million viewers tuning in per episode, ITV's confidence in the brand is not difficult to understand. But here is where the story takes its most intriguing turn. Because while all of this is unfolding around The Chase, Bradley Walsh himself is being talked about in connection with one of the most high-profile presenting vacancies in British television. Strictly Come Dancing, the BBC's jewel in the Saturday night crown, is in need of a new host, or perhaps two. The departures of Tess Daly and Claudia Winkleman have created a presenting void that the BBC needs to fill, and according to widespread and persistent speculation, Bradley Walsh is among the very hottest names being discussed for the role. This is not entirely without precedent. Bradley himself described the Strictly gig as a great gig last year, words that, when you're in the business of reading television tea leaves, are very hard to dismiss as purely casual. And yet, when pressed earlier this year, he made a rather elaborate and rather entertaining case for why taking the role would be essentially incompatible with his lifestyle. Speaking to the Radio Times, he laid out his weekend routine in affectionate detail. Friday nights home from the studio, dinner, I'm a celebrity. Saturday afternoons watching the football results, then dinner, a pint, Strictly, I'm a celebrity, and flipping back to BBC for Match of the Day. Sundays beginning late, with Columbo, then football, the Strictly results, I'm a celebrity again, and Match of the Day once more to close out the weekend. If I was to host Strictly, he concluded, with the kind of delivery that only Bradley Walsh can pull off, it would absolutely ruin my weekend. It is, of course, the sort of denial that could easily be read as either completely genuine or magnificently strategic. The man is, let us not forget, a performer of considerable skill, and knowing exactly how much to reveal and how much to deflect is something he has had decades to perfect. The fact that the Chase's production schedule is now reportedly pausing, freeing up significant amounts of his professional calendar, only adds further fuel to a fire that was already burning quite nicely on its own. Fans have taken to social media in their thousands to debate the various strands of this story. The reaction to the production halt news has been one of genuine concern and considerable nostalgia, with viewers sharing their favorite Chase moments and expressing real affection for both the show and its team. On the Strictly front, the response to Bradley's potential involvement has been overwhelmingly enthusiastic. Perhaps because he represents exactly the kind of warm, witty, unpretentious presenting energy that the show could do with as it enters what will undoubtedly be a transitional new chapter. Television critics have noted that the timing of all this, the Chase pause, the Strictly vacancy, Bradley's carefully worded denials, has the feeling of a narrative that is moving in one very clear direction, even if no one is quite ready to say so out loud just yet. Whether that direction ends with Bradley Walsh stepping onto the Strictly floor as its new co-host remains to be seen. But what is beyond doubt is that this is a story with a great deal further to run. To bring it all together, The Chase is taking a production break, though ITV insists the show and its wider franchise are in robust health. Bradley Walsh is the name on everyone's lips for Strictly, even as he protests that hosting it would derail his beloved weekend television rituals. And somewhere in the middle of all of it sits one of the most naturally gifted presenters British television has produced, a man who has fronted a national institution for 17 years and still makes it look entirely effortless. Whatever happens next, you will absolutely want to be here for it. So drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you want to see Bradley on Strictly? Are you worried about the Chase? And who else do you think could step into the Strictly hosting spotlight? Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and if you haven't already subscribed, now is the perfect time. We cover all the biggest stories from British television as they break, and trust us, this one is far from over. We'll see you in the next one.